oh, go on, G, you old fossil, you. You want to go as easy as possible, obviously, to save the legs for another day, but at the same time, you just want to get up the bastard. You know what I mean? What's occurring, Tom?
Now, what's occurring? Brought to you by Continental Tyres, main partner of the Tour de France. Now, G, we are used on what's occurring to Luke in the old days, doing the pod with his top off. I'm generally in a t-shirt. You look like you have been up a mountain in very cold conditions and then come down a mountain in very cold conditions. You're in a hoodie. I can see at least one t-shirt under there as well. Two
t-shirts underneath as well. And I've just downed a hot cup of tea as well, and my mouth's still blistering, but oh man, sorry. It was so cold. Like, in the race it was okay. Like, we got caught in that hailstorm, but you're going uphill and it's fine, you know. You know, especially that hill, you know, it's pretty steep in sections, so you're working anyway, it's fine. And then got to the finish and I was just like, oh, I just want to get to the bus. Like, I was hungry and I was just like, yeah, a bit tired. I was just like, look, just get me to this bus. It was 12k down and I just put a jacket on and just went. I should have definitely taken off all my wet gear and reclothed from inside to out, but yeah, I didn't. I was just keen to get out of there, and oh man, it was so cold. Like, and especially riding down, because you got all the fans going down as well, and you're blowing your whistle, but some of them think they're pros as well and just want to like try and get in the line, get behind the pro, and like I was, oh bloody hell, and like I was like, you know, when you have that uncontrollable shake at times, I'm like,
oh yeah,
pull yourself together, lad, like sort yourself out. But I couldn't at times. Oh, and then yeah, I got to the bus and like people were trying to stop you for a picture, and I was like, sorry mate, but no, I'm going straight in the shower. Got to the back, Marco had to pull the clothes off me, you know, when your hands have gone as well.
Oh dear.
Like, got no power to. Oh, so yeah, Marco undressed me at the back of the bus, straight in the shower, warmed up, but then realised I've just got a t-shirt with me because, well, weather's been pretty nice, haven't it? So again, took Marco's coat, walked into the hotel, and then opened my suitcase and just put everything on. And feeling a lot better now, though. I'm warm again now, but it is just weird. Like, the access to cycling is what makes it a unique sport, like so good. But at the same time, can you imagine finishing like a rugby or football, like a Premier League game, and then just walking out through all the fans
in your kit, in your muddy wet kit?
Yeah, with a football as well, just like kicking it along, like, and that's what we got to do. Like, and there's got to be a better way, is what I'm trying to say.
I'm going to extend this analogy, right? I think it's a nice one. If we're going to use the analogy of a Premier League footballer leaving the stadium, still dribbling a ball, this is like everyone who's been in the stands watching him, trying to tackle him, or bringing their own ball and trying to dribble around him. Or if you want the rugby analogy, you have just jogged out of the Principality Stadium in Cardiff onto Westgate Street. You got the ball in both hands, obviously, because you're a former fly half, you know how it's done. And then some massive unit who's been drinking all day just smashes into you from the side because he wants to join in.
Yeah. Well, they're like, oh, yeah, come on then. Like, I'll go long, you know, throw it to me, pass over here. Like, it's like, no, mate, no. Like, I'll pass you if you turn pro and you play for my team, and then I'll throw you the ball. You know? Like, the majority, on the whole, don't get me wrong, there's like thousands of people up there. There's only one or two, but it's dangerous as well, you know? It's wet. Like, they're on a lot worse kit than us as well. It's just dodgy, man. I just didn't trust anyone, so I was going pretty slow as well. But that was the longest 12k downhill, I think, of my entire life, Tom.
It's a unique thing, isn't it? It's really hard for people who haven't come off a mountain after a tour stage to understand the mayhem. So all the riders are obviously trying to get down as soon as possible, depending where the buses are. In your case, quite a long way down the mountain. Everyone's trying to get off the mountain. All the media people are trying to get off the mountain because they know that if they get stuck up there, it's going to be really hard to file their copies, make their podcast, whatever they're doing. all the sponsors have been up there in a half cut. They're coming down. Then all the people who rode up or walked up or drove their camper vans up days before, they're all trying to get off. And in the middle of this, you've got the gendarmes on their motorbikes going an extraordinary pace with the lights going, literally smashing their fists on the side of cars. It's madness, isn't it? It really is madness.
Yeah, and you can't blame the fans either, because if I'd been up there all day and been caught in like 12 hailstorms and was sopping wet through, I'd be the same. But yeah, like as riders, you're just like, there's got to be a better way of doing it. But it's tough though, isn't it? It's only one way up and it's one way down. So, but anyway, that's my little moan over. I'm nice and warm now anyway. So what actually happened, Tom? Because I have absolutely no idea.
That's a good point, actually. It was as dramatic a day as you would expect on the Col de la Loze. And obviously we're going a lot further. The tour has been out the Col de la Loze a few times. In 2020 was the first time, wasn't it? Which is a tour that we don't talk about. But it was a really dramatic day. The stage was won by Ben O'Connor, which I think was pleasing for a lot of people. A lot of people like Ben O'Connor, don't they? And he had that crash on the very first day of the tour, which seems a long time ago now, which took him out of GC contention. He attacked as he came into Courchevel, the main part of Courchevel, and went away, looked superb, and was clearly delighted with that win, because that's massive for him, massive for Jayco. Weirdly, the first stage win by a non-European at this year's race, which is pretty weird if you think about the strength of South American cycling and US cycling and Aussie cycling and Kiwi cycling. So he was the stage winner, and then behind him, quite a lot of drama. Poggy ended up taking a few more seconds out of Jonas. Fantastic ride from Oscar Onley to come in, I think, fourth or fifth. So he has taken some time out of Lipovic. In terms of the GC battle, there's some stuff to get into here, because it always looked like a crazy stage. It's the Queen stage. It looked like Visma initially had done a classic Visma plan, which was to put people up the road. But then we had a point where Matteo Jorgensen was further up the road and either didn't have the legs to stay where he was or dropped back too soon. And quite quickly, the plan disintegrated. And you know that thing that we've seen with Pogacar for the last few years, and it's become even more evident in this year's race, where everyone else is out the saddle and clearly working as hard as you have to get up the Col de la Loze, and he just stays seated. I don't think I've ever seen an elite rider make hard riding look as easy as Poggy. And as I was watching, I was thinking, right, I want to get into this. I want to get into how he can get that much power seated when everyone else has to get out of the saddle.
I just think he's on half gas. Like I don't know. From the first mountain day when he took 2 minutes 10 seconds out of Jonas, then the mountain TT, what was it, like 36 seconds. But since then, it's almost like he's like, right, I'm going to put the brakes on a bit now and just sort of like not run away with it. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting. Like, it feels like he could if he wanted, but he's just not. He was taking a lot of heat, wasn't he, for winning too many stages, this, that, and the other. And I don't know. That's the impression I get, because it's like, yeah, it just looks easy, doesn't it?
It does look easy.
And like, I didn't even know Ben O'Connor had won. Like, we I don't know, maybe 6K ago, there was like a big screen and just saw there was an image of Pog and time gap, and I just assumed it was him and that was his time gap, because as you say, up the Madland, Visma, went for it, didn't they? Like Wout and then Tige, and then, well, that's when I got dropped. / sat up, because I was a bit like, it's a weird situation for me now, because I just feel like I don't have the gas when they're going for the break. So anything over like 420, like threshold, I'm just like, I just can't do it. I just don't have that. There's a few reasons for it. I won't go into that now. But anyway, but then once it settles down and then we're into like more of a rhythm, I'm a lot better. And anyway, like the group was already pretty small by then when Tige was on the front. And then I'm in a dilemma of like, right, do I just try and hang in here as long as possible? But what is that going to achieve by the end of the day? Like a top 15, a top 10, like, is that worth going like all in for? Or, sit up, take it easier and try to save something for a day, like, and just hope we can do something on one of the other days. So that's what I did. But yeah, like, by the sounds of things, correct me if I'm wrong, because obviously I didn't see it, but it sounds like, Tees Road and then Campanarts, Sepp, up the Madeleine, and there was kind of there wasn't many of them left, was there? Like 3 or 4 guys or something?
Yeah. And then by the final climb, Jonas was on his own. It was almost like they did too much on the Madeleine, and then in the Valley Road, the tactics fell apart a little bit. And I say they fell apart. It was quite interesting hearing what Jonas Vingegaard had to say at the end. He said it was the hardest stage he thinks he's ever done in the Tour. Single hardest stage, if that makes you feel better about what happened to you on the Madeleine. But also, and this may just be brave talk, when it was put to him that the Tour is over, he said it's not over yet. I think he's just being optimistic. But there is something, because every time that they have put stress on Poggi, he has dished out more stress back to them. He's never looked like cracking, has he? And every time that Jonas attacks him, he's been able to follow his wheel. And generally, he attacks back. And even if he doesn't take huge amounts of seconds out of him, he looks like if he wanted to, he probably could.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's not the same, but when I won the Tour and I was just taking seconds, like, constantly. That's almost like what Pog's kind of doing now. He's like, I don't need to take minutes now. I'll just nullify these attacks, and then boom, I'll just take a few seconds at the end just to keep them down, keep them like at arm's length, just like keep them on the ropes, But yeah, Jonas, when you're asked that, of course, that's what else is he going to say? He's not going to admit that it's over, is he? To the press, and when he's got the whole team backing him and trying hard, he's not going to be like, yeah, it's over. So yeah, he's kind of got to say that, and he's got to believe it as well, really, though. Like, or not believe it, at least try to convince himself to do it. Like we've said many a time, as a pro athlete, you're a bit delusional at times. You try and stay positive, and you get no matter how dark the situation, you always try and get this glimmer of like positivity and just like, oh, no, it might be all right because of X, Y, and Z and whatever. And so, yeah, I think on the bus this morning, I said, actually, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Isma go on this second climb and try something big. But it sounds a bit anticlimactic then, really, like, because you have this big race up the second climb, and then it's a bit of a stalemate. And no disrespect to Ben O'Connor, but definitely wouldn't have had money on him when we were going up the Madeleine.
No, and
that's bike racing as well, isn't it? So
yeah. And I think Ben said in his post-race interview, his biggest worry was the yellow jersey group, because I think had they wanted to, or had Poggi wanted to, I think they probably could have caught him. As you say, it's almost like Pogacar is now going, look, I've done enough already. I'm not going to lose seconds to you. I might just take 5 seconds out of you today, 10 seconds out of you. It's almost like he's doing test match cycling now, isn't he? Or old-fashioned, rather than Bazball, test match cycling. He's just taking the singles now. He's taking the singles and the twos. He's not looking to go on the attack and launch sixes everywhere now. But you're right, it was a little bit anticlimactic because of the fireworks on the Madeleine, and also because the Col de la Loze is such a great climb, and it's a long, long climb, isn't it?
I wouldn't say it's great, mate.
No,
you wouldn't.
Listen,
you ride it and then come back on this podcast and say it's great.
You know how the division of labour works on this podcast. You do the riding, I do the talking and the writing. That's how it works.
Don't believe everything you read.
But you're right, because, and I don't know how much of this you were able to take in, but the atmosphere on the road, on the Col de la Loze, looks superb. There were at least 2 massive groups of Danish fans, all in Danish shirts with the flags. I seem to see quite a few Slovenians. And even that rain and that lower down and then the hailstorm at the top didn't really seem to dampen the ardour of the fans. It was a good day for the sponsors who go through in the publicity caravan and give out very, very cheap plastic raincoats in the colours of their company. Very good day for them. But yeah, it felt like everything was in place. The mountain is there for drama. The fans were there for drama in their droves. But the race didn't quite deliver in the end.
Yeah, but the fans were great, to be fair. And like, I'm sure there's more Welsh fans than anyone
I
else.
saw quite a few. I
Like,
saw quite a few. More in sort of small groups rather than the massive
they don't
bunches.
congregate like the Danes and then
No.
make it look like there's loads of them. They're just constantly there. Not that it's a competition though, but it's great. The what's it called? Support. Mate, it's stage 18. Just done a great climb of cold, the Loze. No, the support is great. So I think Von 2 was the best so far. Because that was lined from bottom to top pretty much, which is kind of mad. But yeah, it was. Oh, someone on bottom of Von 2 actually shouted to me, "Oh, go on, G, you old fossil, you."
A bit harsh, isn't it?
I know.
39, not a fossil.
Quinn Simmons just like turns around as a little laugh. I was like, "Mate, is that support or is that a bit of abuse or what?"
Yeah. Well, I think that's a disgrace. I mean, to be a fossil, you've literally got to be at least 1 million years old.
But no, it was good to be fair. Yeah, as you say, especially with that rain. Although they didn't know it was going to be like that. But
No.
yeah, it was intense. It was, and that's what you want, and especially for like in the group I was in, up Von 2 and up Col de Loze today. They're still so enthusiastic. Like today, I was 33 minutes down. Yeah, they were still just as excited. So that was really good. But yeah, the bottom of that climb, I think it was like 26k or something. And I was just like, oh my goodness me. Like, because I was still relatively, well, I'd say relatively close, but I wasn't like a million, maybe 10 minutes or so from the front. Then I was like, right, okay, I'm just going to go as easy as possible now for a bit, wait for a group to catch me. So I was only doing like 260 watts for a bit. But then once the group catches you and they're doing about 280, 300, 320, 300, 290, I was like, oh, this is quite hard now. And then, yeah, it's such a mental game when you're back there trying to go easy, because you want to go as easy as possible, obviously, to save the legs for another day. But at the same time, you just want to get up the bastard. You know what I mean? 26k uphill, like it's just, just there plodding away. So, but yeah, I got a few little ham sandwiches from the car, because at this stage of the race as well, we've had so many gels and high carb drinks and this, that, and the other sugary stuff, and you just crave just a bit of savoury food,
saltiness,
yeah, like there was no real salt, but there's a tiny bit of ham in there, but still, it was just so nice to have that. Came around a bit as well because Pavel was in the group, Quinn Simmons was there, Tobias, and yeah, kind of got into it a bit then, and then it was okay. But long old day.
Right, well, we'll take a little break. Before we do, a reminder that we're working with Rouleur across the tour. You can use the code WATTS, WATTS, to save 10% on Rouleur's magazine and digital subscriptions. Head to rouleur.cc to read their excellent daily tour coverage as soon as you've finished listening to today's pod. G, before we go to the advert break, I'm going to ask you one question I would like the answer when we come back from the adverts, and that is which foodstuff you have been fantasizing most about during this tour. Before we went away, G, I asked you which foodstuff you have been most fantasizing about on this tour. I'd actually like two answers. When you had your ham sandwich on the Col de la Loze, had you been able to eat anything in the world, which foodstuff would that have been? And right now, as you are on the massage table, Marco's sorting your legs out and you're getting ready for dinner, what would you most like to eat when you go down to the team dining room?
A burger. Easy. When I go down now, just a nice big, because
juicy.
A burger's not even that bad, is it? It's a bit of meat, a bit of bread.
We'll get you a Wagyu one, like a nice healthy one as well.
Yeah. So a burger I'd take now for dinner, and as we're riding up, it's one of them, innit? Because you still got to breathe when you're riding uphill. It's quite hard to eat, and to really savour something. Snickers comes to mind, even though it's
bit chewy?
sugary, but it's Yeah, but it's just got a bit of something to it.
It's got some mouthfeel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got that. The nuts give it a bit of texture. Speaking of that, actually, there's 2 Irish women that I took a Snickers from last year in the race. Turned up to the start yesterday with their what's occurring banners. And they were like, "Oh, gee, we got you a retirement gift." And I was like, "Oh, nice." So rolled over thinking, it'd be a 3-pack of Snickers, which they had in their hand, which they gave me. And they were like, "Oh, I have this as well." And there's like a bottle of Bailey's in there. So I was like,
Oh,
"It's nice, isn't it?
it's
A bit more of that. A bit more of that would go down well."
When's that going to get opened? Paris, Champs- Élysées? Or maybe the night before?
I think just take it to the do afterwards and crack it open there. But so that was a nice little treat before the start yesterday. And then somebody was actually holding out a Snickers today, and I was just that much in this is when I was riding like 260 watts, just like, oh man, this is going to take forever. Wasn't in the best shape mentally, but yeah, a K later I would have definitely grabbed it, so I kind of regretted not grabbing that. But
what would you, if there are what's occurring listeners listening to this podcast who are going to be on the mountain in the next couple of days, what would you like if it's going to be a Snickers? Is there an optimum temperature? Do you like a cold Snickers? Do you like a room temperature Snickers? Is there anything else that you want to request?
Anything really, just a Mars bar is good, a Snickers is good.
Double decker?
Maybe not a Twix. What did you say?
Double decker?
Double decker, yeah, I wouldn't turn that down. Maybe not a Bounty.
No, it's too bitty, isn't it?
Yeah, like, when you breathe in, you have that coconut in the back of your throat.
Kit Kat, or is that too many fingers?
It's a bit too wafery as well. There's just a good solid Yorkie. Do you remember them? Do they still do Yorkies?
Oh, Yorkies are still around, yeah. Yorkie or Boost? The Boost has got more chew to it.
Boost would be better. Yeah. Actually, a Yorkie's you need to savour that a bit more. I like to just let it melt in my mouth.
Cube at a time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm open to anything.
Right, away from food, Geraint Thomas, we need to pick our Continental Tyres chapeau of the day for this battle up the Col de la Loze. Candidates, I'm going to open the bidding with Ben O'Connor because I think, particularly after that crash, as we say, on the very first day and the end of his GC
he's had
ambitions.
enough time to get over it. He's on the first day, Tom.
Okay,
Bloody stage 18 now.
Okay, we're in aggressive mood. I get the sense that I'm gonna have a debate here about whether Ben O'Connor deserves it. Maybe this will persuade you. Your old mate Steve Cummings, former teammate, someone who taught you a great deal about road cycling, particularly its tactics. He was in the car for Ben and Jake. I don't know if that calls your anti-Ben O'Connor hatred.
No, that's it's definitely a good shout. I think someone else would be Onley because he's obviously
big time.
With Lipovitz having a bad day, he attacked in the early on and then he blew up, and
they messed this one up big time. They honestly, because
Roglic was aggressive as well, wasn't he?
Roglic was aggressive, so he wasn't looking after Lipovitz. Lipovitz had a big advantage over Onley at one point because Onley was struggling on the Madeleine, wasn't he? And then the whole thing had turned around by the finish line. Onley is like you give me your impressions of him as a rider, because as someone who watches road cycling, we'd seen little glimpses of him last year, but he was right until the very end, right until that horrendous ramp at the very end when it goes to 13% on the top of the Col de la Loze. He was there all the way with Jonas and with Poggi. And I suppose there's two parts to this, isn't there? There's the professional part of it, which is that it's an amazing achievement at 22 to be doing that. But then also, you've often talked to me about your early days, maybe at the Tour, maybe in the Classics, as someone who'd grown up loving road cycling. The points where you find yourself riding alongside someone like Tom Boonen or Fabian Cancellara, and you had that dual narrative in your head. You had that, right, I'm in the race, this is what I've got to do. And you said that, bloody hell, that's Tom Boonen. Bloody hell, that's Fabian Cancellara. So as I'm watching Oscar Onley, I think I've got that same thought in my head that he is clearly entirely focused on trying to get on the podium, which would be a phenomenal achievement, and he's focused on the intricacies of that particular part of the stage. But at 22 years old, when you are from Kelso in Scotland, there's got to be part of you which is going, bloody hell, it's Pog. Bloody hell, it's Jonas.
Yeah, for sure. I think, again, though, he's had 18 days to get used to it now, haven't he? So I think I think the first sort of mountain days he'd definitely have that, but I think the more he's there now, the more he's getting used to it, and the more he'll be confident and, confident in what he can do. And but yeah, I think it's incredible how he's going. I think it was about 2 years ago or so. I remember seeing him the first time, being like, "Oh yeah, no, he's a good rider. He could do something in the future." And well, he's doing it. And I think
Future's here, isn't it?
the 22 years old thing, yeah, age doesn't really come into it now anymore.
22 is not the old 22, is it?
No, exactly. Like, this sexist dude or whatever his name is, 18-year-old who was top 10 in Dauphiné. Like, it's a different era now, but I'm not taking any more thing away from Onley, but he is still young. But yeah, fair play to him, to come through that bad patch or maybe just ride within himself or, pace himself well. Yeah, paid off in the end because, Lipovic lost a good, minute and a half or so, I think, to him, didn't he? And now it's only 20 seconds between Lipovic in third and Onley in fourth. So, and then you got Roglic, that, I don't know, about a minute or so off that, a minute and a half. So, yeah, that's a great little battle going on there. Hopefully he can do it. He's a nice guy. I speak to him a little bit, but yeah, it'd be great to see him do that. So he'd be another shout out. For the rest, I don't really know. So, Ben O'Connor is definitely not expected. And he did crash on the first day of the race, didn't he?
18 days ago, though, G, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, I'm happily give it to Ben O'Connor.
Okay, we've come a long way around in that circle, but the circle is now complete. So the Continental Tyres chapeau of the day goes to Ben O'Connor. Right, there is something, I don't know if you've seen this, G, it's doing the rounds on social media. There is a picture of a man on the side of the road in a camper van, and he's wearing a half and half jersey. One half of his jersey is the white of UAE. The other half of his jersey is the yellow and black of Visma. There is speculation that this must therefore be the father of Adam and Simon Yates. Any insider information?
Yeah, I saw this just before we came on. I don't know their dad, but the only thing I thought when I saw it was he's got a bit of a gut on him. And the Yates boys are so skinny and naturally small. I just assumed that their dad would also be quite small and lean.
Your dad's quite lean, isn't he? Even in his age.
Yeah, he is. But he's also quite small, my dad.
He's very small, your dad, yeah.
Yeah, he must have had a lot of showers or something.
He's a climber's build, your dad, isn't he? Like pure climber.
Yeah. So, to be honest, I haven't studied the picture. I just had a quick look before we came on, but if I was a betting man, I'd say it wasn't. But, the fact that, it was all these flags one there, Yates, this and that. But you'd think he would have been around before. Because it's not like the Yates, where's he been for the last 10 years when they've been winning shit,
Also, the picture that I've seen, the gentleman in question, he has got white hair, I'd say, rather than grey hair. He's wearing sunglasses, so it's hard to be certain. He doesn't look that Yatesy around the chops. I remember speaking to Yates Senior when Simon was doing so well at the Giro in 2018. And I was working at BBC, and we used to get him on the Bespoke podcast a few times. And I know this isn't scientifically accurate, but I can't quite match up the voice that I spoke to then with the face I'm seeing here. I could be wrong. I just think he's a little bit younger.
Yeah, I just think we would have seen him before. They've been around for a decade, at least, performing in, all Grand Tours. So, yeah, I think it's just a big fan. It was quite a cool thing what he did, though. That jersey looks pretty cool, doesn't it? But maybe it's an uncle or something, or...
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, if you're listening to this and you know Simon and Adam's dad, could you just give him drop him a message on WhatsApp, something like that, and then let us know on our socials? Was that by him by the side of the road, or is he just watching this in front of his TV in Bury, just north of Manchester? Let us know. Gee, a little bit of chat before we go. about your teammate Carlos Rodriguez, who was forced to pull out. Fractured pelvis, is that right?
Yeah, bit soft, isn't it? Going home.
Well, it's, in the old days, a rider would fracture his pelvis right at the very start of the tour, get through a brutal time trial a few days later, and then complete the whole tour riding well for his team leader who'd win yellow. But times change.
Yeah, times have changed. But no, to be fair to him, it was broke. It wasn't my break for that tour was different. But I think it's similar to where I broke it in Tirreno in 2009, and that is sore. That's like where you sit down as well. And fair play to him though. He's a hard little guy, tough cookie. Because in the shower, he was so beaten up yesterday because he crashed twice yesterday, and he had this cut on his back, and he had the iodine scrubber sponge thing, and he was like, "Oh, geez, like have I got all this stuff on my back?" And I was like, "Oh no, it was a bit. It was quite a lot." And I was like, "Oh, do you want me to do it?" And he was like, "Yeah." So I was there scrubbing his back with this iodine brush, and but to be fair to him, he wasn't moaning or whining or anything. He was all beaten up, and then he went for scans yesterday and last night, and it was confirmed that he had done it. So they were sad to see him go because he was actually starting to be the usual Carlos that we'd expect, really. He's just been eating a bit more. I think he's kind of, it's easier to see it from the outside, isn't it, sometimes, especially when you've done it and you see the same mistakes that you made. So it's a shame because he would have been in the mix today. I don't know where exactly he is. You never know, but he was on the way up anyway, and it was another string to our attack really because it was all heaped on time. But sad to see him go. He's gone home. Well, he's flying back tomorrow, I think, and then resting up. I don't know how long he'll be out and stuff for, but hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later.
One more thing before we go. This has also done the rounds on social media. It's not the bloke in the Decathlon jersey who tried to jump in ahead of the sprint finish the other day and got
wiped out.
Got wiped out by the security guard. Looked like he mangled himself in the process. That wasn't a late bid by Loze to get a Decathlon stage winner at this tour. I'm talking here about the moment where Lenny Martinez took not just a sticky bottle on the Glandon, but a very gluey bottle. Now, this did allow me to add a little bit to my French. This is apparently a bidon collé in French rather than sticky bottle. I don't know if you've seen it, but let's very briefly talk about what is an acceptable level of stickiness and what becomes an unacceptable level of stickiness in the eyes of riders and then commissaires.
I haven't actually seen it, so I don't know that situation, but I think it's basically you grab a bottle, the DS puts his foot flat to the floor, and I don't know, maximum 3 seconds maybe, I would say is kind of all right. It's basically if he leaves a gap of maybe 2 or 3 cars to the car in front and accelerates, and then obviously has to stop before he plows into the back of the other car, that's kind of what I would say is acceptable. I don't know what the black and white of the rules are, but Josh Tarling got done for it in Paris-Nice, Paris-Roubaix, but he was coming back from a mechanical, I think, or something. So to me, it's never black and white, and there's different situations. Like if he's struggling and he's getting dropped from a group, and then gets a extra long sticky bottle, but.
What might not help him this time, I might not have this entirely right, but when I watched it, it appeared that he took one sticky bottle and then immediately handed that bottle back to the car and picked up bidon collé 2.
Yeah, at least take a swig, put it in your bottle cage, and
make
then
it look
throw
realistic.
it after 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting then. Has anything happened or? Not
that I've heard so far, unless stuff has happened while we've been talking. You'd expect it would have happened by now, I think. But we shall find out. One of those lovely little quirks of road cycling. Right, G, that's us done for today. 3 more stages for you in your Tour de France career. But I don't want to get too emotional yet because you, me and Luke are going to be getting together on the Champs-Élysées in Paris, aren't we? I'm sure Sarah and Max will be there as well on Sunday. So shall we save the big emotional teary chats for then and just keep a stiff upper lip until that moment?
Yeah. Let's just worry about 125k, 5,000 meters of climbing tomorrow, or 4.5, whatever it is, up and down. Yeah, we'll worry about the tears in Paris, mate. Let's get there first.
You're going to be fine because at various points tomorrow you're going to be having a bounty, a Twix.
No, not a bounty.
Oh no, not a bounty. Sorry, a Boost, a Snickers, a Mars. Do we mention a picnic? A few nuts in there. Bit
yeah, I'll take a picnic. Yeah.
Okay, anything except a bounty, and we're saving the Yorkies for the Champs-Élysées, where the French will go absolutely apoplectic if they see someone eating a bounty on Parisian streets.
Look forward to it. Cheers, Tom.
See you there.
Ciao.